Hello everyone. I am back today with another video for you. And today I'd like to introduce to you the distributive property. If you think of the word distribute, that usually means that you are handing something out or you are giving something to someone. That word distribute. Okay? If I am in my classroom and I am going to give you guys papers, right? I am handing them out. I am distributing papers to everyone. Well, this property sort of works the same way, and I'll show you that here in a second. If you look at the problem below, I think most of us, as we would go to solve this, would say, well, I've always been told I have to do parentheses first. So 3 plus 4 is 7, right? And then 7 times 7 is 49. We've always been told to follow order of operations, or what we refer to as PEMDAS, or I even talked to you guys about using GEMDAS this year, because replacing the P with a G, because we talked about all sorts of grouping symbols, parentheses, brackets, and braces, right? So we've always been told to do parentheses first. Well, the distributive property comes along and says, yeah, you can do that, but there's another way to solve this problem and get the same answer. Another way to solve this problem is to distribute this number that is in front of the parentheses to everything on the inside. So for example, I would take this 7 to the first number here, which is a 3. And remember, a number next to the parenthesis means to multiply. So 7 times 3 is 21. Right? And then I take this same 7 and I multiply it by the next number. And 7 times 4 is 28. So if we add them together, we still get the 49 that we got the first time. We are distributing or handing this out to everything inside the parentheses. It's another way to get the same answer. And I know you're thinking, well, why do I need to do this way when the first way works? Well, what we're going to get to later in this week is we are going to add a variable in here, like 3n plus 4. And if you think about that, we now can't add these together because they're not like terms. So this is where the distributive property is going to come in and help us. But we'll get to that later in this week. Okay, let's look at another example of using the distributive property. Okay, if I am using the distributive property, I am handing out the number that is attached to the parentheses to everything on the inside. So this is 9 times 4, which would be 36. And then 9 times 3, which is 27. And this problem wants us to add them together. So my solution here, when I solve this, 36 and 27 would give me 63. Okay. Another word you may hear instead of the distributive property is you're expanding this. So those two words sort of go together, distributive property, and we're expanding it. 9 times 4, 9 times 3, and then this problem wants us to add together. Our total is 63. Okay, let's look at the one. So in this problem, when I go to expand, I would take the 4 times everything on the inside. So 4 times 8 is 32. And 4 times 5 is 20. This problem wants you to subtract them. So I've expanded it. Now I'm just going to subtract. 32 minus 20 is going to be 12. Okay? One more like this, and then I'm going to add something to what we're doing. Okay. If we look at this problem, this one has 3 numbers on the inside of the parentheses. And it could have 4, it could have 5, however many. There's no set number, but we still treat it the same way. We still multiply what's on the outside by everything on the inside. So 7 times 3, I get 21. 7 times 5 is 35. There's a plus sign in between there, so I'm going to add these then. And then I do the 7 times the 4, which is 28. And this one is subtracted. So there's what I get when I expand everything. So if I add 21 plus 35, if I need to set this up to show you, 21 and 35, we get 56, right? And then my last step is 56 minus 28. You will end up with 28 when you subtract. So my solution here would be 28. Okay? So we're expanding by multiplying everything on the outside by what's on the inside. Okay, so far we've done this with positive numbers. Now let's throw in some negatives. Okay, although there's a negative here, same rules apply. I need to multiply times everything on the inside. Negative 6 times 3 is a negative 18. And then I have negative 6 and a positive 5. Positive and a negative make it a negative 30. So now when I go to solve this, leave, change, opposite, I get a negative 48. Okay, not a whole lot different. You just have to pay attention to your integer signs. Okay, let's look at another one. All right, here's another one. So negative 5 times negative 7 would be a positive 35. And negative 5 times a positive 4 would be negative 20. So I'm putting minus or negative 20 there. Okay, now we're ready to solve. So 35 minus 20, if I do my leave, change, opposite, I'm just going to get an answer of a positive 15. All right, let's keep going with some more examples. Okay, let's look at this one. In this problem, there's a negative 4 on the outside. So if I take negative 4 times 9, that would be negative 36. Now, don't let this one confuse you. Remember, when we were working on negatives, then this is in parentheses to help show you that it's a negative. It's not 9 minus 3. It's just in parentheses to show you that it's negative. Here's the front of the problem parenthesis, and then this is the back. That's why there's sort of two parentheses there. One's for the negative, one's to end the problem. Okay, so I'm going to take negative 4 times negative 3, right? And a negative would make that a positive 12 here. So I had positive 12, and then there's my subtraction sign. Okay, so before I solve, it's subtraction. So I need to do leave, change, opposite, and I get a negative 48. Now, one other thing about this problem I want to show you is sometimes these subtraction ones throw people off. So another option you can do before you even start this is that some people just right away like to change the subtraction into addition. They don't want to deal with the subtraction because you're going to do it anyway before you eventually solve it. So some folks like to change right away. Leave, change, opposite. And now you don't have to worry about subtraction. Negative 4 times 9 is negative 36. And negative 4 and a positive 3 is negative 12. And then you solve and you get negative 48. So you can change that subtraction sign to addition right away, or you can wait totally up to you, but some people just like to do it just to be rid of subtraction because they know they're eventually going to have to do it later in the problem anyway. Okay, so here's another distributing problem that has subtraction. So I'll show you both ways here. So I can multiply and get negative 15. And if I take 5 and negative 4, I would get a negative 20. Right, and I need to subtract them. So if I do leave change opposite, I get an answer of positive 5. Okay, or as I said before, if you want to be rid of the subtraction, you can do it early. So if I change this, if I do leave change opposite, I can be rid of it early. So now I have negative 15, and 5 times 4 is a positive 20. And so I have an answer of 5. Same thing. So you can get rid of that subtraction early, you can do it late, whichever works for you. Okay, let's look at one more. All right, here's one of the bigger problems that we worked with before. It has 3 numbers inside. So same rules apply. Multiply the 4 times the 6, and I would get 24. Multiply the 4 times the 5, and I would get 20. There's an addition sign in between, right? And multiply the 4, and there's negative 9, so I get negative or minus 36. Again, you could have changed that early if you would like. But so let's solve now. 24 plus 20, right, would be 44. And then you have to subtract 36. So if I subtract 36 here, I should have an answer of positive 8. Okay, so please remember the distributive property means you're handing things out. It's showing you another way to do this that is going to benefit us in a few days here. Okay, so you're going to work on some of this. You'll start out doing some problems that are just strictly positive. I gave you 2 lines. The first line you will expand like I did here. The second line is to solve. Yes, you must show me that. Please do it this way. Do the expanding method. Okay, then the second group, I think you have 12 problems you'll end up doing today. The first 6, I believe, are positive, and then the last 6, you start to get into some negatives. The same thing in the second 6. You have 2 lines. Show me you expanded, and then the second line, show me your answer. Okay? All right, guys. So you do, as I said, you do have practice on Schoology to do. Message me if you need anything. All right? And have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.